From now on, you will be a witch.
Following the story of Coco as she learns to become a witch in the aftermath of using forbidden magic that turns her life upside down, the Witch Hat Atelier is perhaps the most beautiful anime that has produced something that could easily be praised as movie quality. In this video, I'm going to go ahead and break down the anime and what's been happening in it so far. So if you somehow haven't given it a chance, maybe this video can show you exactly what you're missing. And if you're caught up, maybe you'll enjoy listening to somebody just totally glaze this absolute Goliath of an anime debut. It's clear to see why this project, which was once thought to be almost impossible to adapt from its very whimsical and beautiful manga penned by mangaka Komone Shirahama, has been all the buzz, with its online community already praising it as Anime of the Year contender. I think we should just get right into the very heart of this video, the art style and direction. I touched on it a little bit in the intro, but Witch Hat has by far some of the most impressive animation I think I've ever seen from a Bugs film production, which is saying quite a bit because their last production was the stylish and visual feast Zom 100. Everything from the characters' movements to the organic motion of the water magic and everything else is just a paramount of exquisite execution. If I were to honestly compare the entire production to anything, it would be like when you get a really high quality food-centered anime and they're just really going hard on all the details and everything is so shiny and yet textured and it looks like the most amazing food you've ever seen. That's Witch Hat's entire run so far. And the direction of Watanabe, who is doing double duty this season with Witch Hat and Akane Banashi, another great series, is so well done and produced. He's a maestro and Witch Hat is his musical climax. Speaking of musical feats, I want to touch very lightly on the music of the series. And I mean very lightly because what Yuka Kitamura is doing for this series must be heard for yourself. Witch Hat has possibly the most fully realized soundtrack for a fantasy-based anime that I think I've ever heard. There were moments where my eyes were actually welling up with tears because of the artistic excellence and the musical grounding, and to think we're literally only 6 episodes in at the time of me writing this, it's amazing. Also, hands down, if this anime doesn't win Anime of the Year, the voice cast needs their flowers. They, and by they I mean the dub, have been able to perform with such a nuance and subtlety. I really hope that they get recognized for their amazing work. Let's talk about the characters. One of Witch Hat's strongest assets is its cast of characters. From the main line, you have the passionate and warm Coco, whose sole wish in life was to learn how to become a witch. It's been so great to see how she handles the weight of her newly crowned pointed hat, and Coco as a main character has real depth. She's still a child, and yet there's enough gravity to her that her tragedies really hit home. An instrument for the brim caps, which we'll discuss later, that she has used forbidden magic. To round out our main cast of apprentice witches, we also have Tetia, a lovable goofball, and the only voice dubbing I'm not totally sold on. We have the quiet Richeh, a young silly girl who seems to be more capable than she first lets on, and finally we have Agott, the hopelessly uninterested foil to Coco. She's brash and self-fulfilling, she's hungry to prove herself, and most importantly to this story, she knows what it feels like to be an outsider. Now that we know a little bit about the apprentices, I think we should talk about their master Gojo. I mean Qifrey. This man is the severed one of the Witch's Hat world, powerful and mysterious. He is undisputably kind and equally terrifying. Qifrey, he is a well-respected and important member of the Pointed Cap Witches stronghold and has used his amazing potential to carve out a path for himself in the world. Although a joker, he has shown himself to be a truly impressive master and teacher, showing his students kindness even in their blunders. I'm not going to go too far into his character because I don't want to talk about spoilers, but so far in the anime, we know he has a mysterious connection to...
You will tell no one, not a soul.
The Brimcap Witches. This is a sect of witches that reject the rules that were set forth the Day of the Pact, which was the day that the world of witches set forth new rules dictating who could use magic and what spells would be considered forbidden. In the wake of unlimited use and war, which forever changed the landscape of life itself. If you would like a video of me explaining that in a little more depth, let me know and I'll be happy to make one for you. Also, while we're here guys, if you wouldn't mind taking a minute to like and subscribe, every little bit helps, and let's get back to the video. hearts and a wand, IGUIN. Although we don't know much about him yet, in the anime series we know that he is intimately connected to the powerful Qifrey. He was actively searching for traces of IGUIN when he initially met Coco. As a brim cap, he is shrouded in mystery, choosing to wear a mask depicting a sigil of the all-watching eye. Although we don't know his true intentions just yet, IGUIN was visibly overjoyed as he watched Coco pass her first trial to become an apprentice, watching from a distance as she struggled to secure the consent of the crown at Dada's range. We would later see more of IGUIN when he initiated Coco in her first real test, by teleporting her, as well as her fellow apprentice witches, to a draconic labyrinth. He watched as she and the other young witches struggled to deal with the ever-growing dragon. When Coco was able to best the dragon, IGUIN was elated that his seed of hope had begun to sprout. He immediately took possession of Coco temporarily, proclaiming that he would teach her things that Qifrey could never. So now that we know a little bit about the characters, let's talk about the magic system. I want to very briefly explain the magic system as we know it to be so far in the anime. Again, I'm trying to avoid spoilers here. First and foremost, there are two known factions of witches in this world: the brim cap witches, those who refuse the rules set forth on the Day of the Pact, and the pointed caps, or the witches sworn to uphold those very same rules, created from the mythical silverwood tree, and a handcrafted wand used to etch the ink. The neatness in this objects in order to give them a new use. An example that we've seen being used in the anime is levitation magic being placed on shoes. Rules of magic. There are several rules when it comes to using magic, and the first I've already talked about. You cannot allow people to see you perform the conjuring of spells. This is because on the Day of the Pact, the pointed cap witches erased the fact that anybody could do magic from the general public, thus making magic a very concealed act. You cannot use excessively dangerous magic, and you cannot warp reality or use magic to affect the human body with transformation or healing. Any use of forbidden magic will result in the erasure of your memories. The enforcers of the magical world are the Knights Moralis, a group of pointed cap witches whose duty is to secure and execute the rules of the Day of the Pact. They will do this duty fully and without hesitation, stopping at nothing to ensure the witches' secrets are kept. Hey, this is Big Time Weed Dad in the editing bay, and I felt the need to hit on something that I didn't quite talk about in the main video, so I hope you hear me out. Again, this is not something that I usually do, and this is going to be unscripted and off the dome. But basically, I wanted to say Witch Hat Atelier has some of the best world building I think I have seen this season, and not only this season, but in a long time. The world itself is so dense and full of life that it's really, truly, for lack of a better term, magical. If you like your world really dense and full of all these magical aspects, like the Witch's City or Dragon Labyrinth or a plane of floating spheres, Witch Hat Atelier is definitely your show, and I hope you give it a shot. Anyways, let's get back to the main video. And honestly, that's where we're at so far. We're pretty early in the anime series, but I promise there are amazing things to come. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and if you're giving Witch Hat a chance after watching this, please let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, this has been Big Time Weeb Dad, and I am out.
やり方特等席で見せてやる。
ギロ君ってマジでめちゃくちゃ腕が立つわけ？
生まれてきたことを後悔しろ。あんたらはクズ人間だ。代わりに俺の結婚を手伝ってくれ。
そんな